This UCSD TV program is a presentation of University of California Television. Your support makes UCTV's programming possible. Contribute online at uctv.tv/support. Check out the YouTube original channel UCTV Prime at youtube.com/UCTV Prime. Subscribe today to get new programs every week.
Lyric Opera, who originated the production in 1988, had a Barber that they realized was not going to work. John Copley and John Conklin and Michael Stennett and I were in Los Angeles doing Rossini's Tancredi. And I got a call from Artist Kranick wanting to know where John Copley was, and asked me to find him and have him by the phone within a half an hour, which I did. And she asked him about doing Barber, which he was a bit resistant to do. He just didn't know that he was going to bring anything new to it. Where it started from was the Magritte painting of the Reigning Men. It went from there to, you know, the Barber, the comb and the brush, the shaving brush. And we just found things that we could do with, you know, adapting a number of his paintings. And that sort of excited John, and that's where the production took off from.
Count Almaviva is a young Italian count who follows a young girl all the way to Seville. So if you do the geography a little bit, that's kind of a far trip to just follow a girl that he seems to be infatuated with. And she happens to dwell in the house of Dr. Bartolo. Dr. Bartolo is just a tyrant. He is a nasty man who actually has ulterior motives of marrying Rosina for himself because he knows that she is rich. And if he marries her, then he gets her dote, her inheritance. So Count runs into Figaro, an old pal of his. Figaro is driven by money, so of course I tempt him with gold, and he'll pretty much do anything at my beck and call because he just loves gold so much. And we're old pals, so what the hey.
Da soldato, da soldato, sì signore, da soldato, e che si fa, che si fa, che si fa.
I've had such a great time playing the Count, because you really do get to kind of play 4 different characters on stage, or at least 3. You know, you can kind of play your romantic Lindoro as though that is the person that the Count is as well. And then you have the drunken soldier and the funny Don Alonso character. And then you come back finally as the Count. And it's so great to be able to have the last say and really get to sing this last aria, which is just a tour de force aria. So not only is the evening full of long ensembles with repetitions and difficult coloratura all over the place, but then I'm going to torture myself to your delight and sing this great aria at the end of the opera, Cessa di più resistere.
Che mai quest'importuno, lasciamolo passar. Sotto quegli archi non veduto vedrò quando bisogna. Già l'alba è appena e amor non si vergogna.
He's the man. He's the man of the city, you know. He's the guy. People go to him. If they have a problem, they go to him. He's like Johnny Skiki and that sort of thing, you know. Everyone goes to him to remedy any problem they have, be it psychological, be it physical, be it of the heart. He deals with everything up into even giving people enemas, you know. He says that in the show. He's like, yeah, I've got a busy schedule these days. I got to deal with some wigs and some hair, and then I got to give an enema later to this guy who's woo, you know. So yeah, he's a jack of all trades. That's sort of what he's telling everyone is, hey, you better look out. Good things are going to happen because I'm around. If the role of Figaro was a fireworks display, it would be in reverse. It would start with the grand finale and then move towards the beginning, because it really does start off with a bang. It really does. So it's hard because you have to warm up, almost warm up past the point that you would for most normal operas, because normally, you know, you warm up to the point that you sound good and you're ready to go. But as you sing throughout the show, you know, you normally have your bigger arias at the end of the show or towards the end. So you're sort of using the opera as a continued warm up just to make sure that it's still, the voice is moving and well lubricated and ready to go. But with Figaro, you have to start the opera as though you're at least halfway through any normal opera. And so that being said, it's a hard thing. So I have to make sure that I'm good and ready to go, because you can't halfway this this particular role. I love milking that aria. I really do. I gotta say, I do love the aria probably more than just about anything else, because it's just me and in the audience, really, and people know it so well, so it's kind of challenging to do it in a new and different way. And I feel like I do bring a few different things that you don't expect to hear to it, and I guess the whole thing is at the end of it, even though I'm out of breath from frantically changing my clothes, I try and hold the high note longer than just about anybody else in the business. So I think people, well, hopefully if it's a good night, they'll notice that that did happen. So. Figaro puts a little extra effort into helping the Count because of his connection to Rosina. She's a teenager, but you can tell she's going to grow into an incredibly smart, brilliant young woman. And he sees that in her ability to really pull out the best in herself and others, but she's stymied by this guy Bartolo with whom she lives, and he sucks the joy that Figaro sees that is innately inside of her that only comes out around him. He sees that as soon as Bartolo walks in the room, there's a dark cloud that hangs over Rosina, and Figaro wants to do anything he can to help get her out of that situation, which is what a unique thing at the end of this opera is that when the Count pays me, normally I'm just like, haha, I finally got paid for my services. I had, and this was my idea, I'm kind of proud of it, I had the idea of when I get paid by the Count that I take the money that I've been given and give it to Rosina as a wedding gift.
She is a young Spanish girl, or lady, yeah, girl. She's about 18, 19 years old. She lives in Seville, and she doesn't get out of that house, only with her tutor, that is Bartolo. So very seldom she goes out. She's well read, she reads romantic books, and she's well educated. She has music lessons. Her idea definitely is to get out of that house, because the plans of that she doesn't really know, but the plans of her tutor is to marry her to get all the money she's inheritance from her parents. There's no reference from Rossini about anything of her past, no anything about her parents or anything about her life, previous life before she was given to this man, or anything like that. So it's all about future. Rossini only is interested about her future. And she's a very typical Spanish girl with a lot of character, and she knows what she wants. It's incredible that with one aria, Una voce poco fa, the most famous aria of Rosina and the whole opera, she's got two arias. The second is the lesson aria. This Una voce poco fa, she tells us how she is from the beginning of the aria until the end. She just tells us how she is. She absolutely shows her character. So she says she's in love with this voice that she listens during the night, that sings for her, serenades for her. So that's quite, exciting for a girl and very romantic. And on top of that, she says, then after that, she says that she's in love with that voice of that man called Lindoro. And then she says, of course, the tutor is going to refuse that I'm in love with him and that I want to go with him and marry him or whatever. He's going to refuse, but I will find a way to deceive him. Wow. And then she says, I'm very docile and I can be very loving and very nice girl, but if you touch me, if you cross me, and you don't let me do what I want to do, I am going to make your life hell. That's what she says. And if you don't see a character like that in one area, that's pretty remarkable from Rossini, that he can, in just 7 pages of the aria, to say all that about a woman.
Siete voi, dottor Balordo? Che Balordo, che Balordo? Bertoldo! Che Bertoldo, che Bertoldo? Che attacchi al diavolo, che attacchi al diavolo? Dottor Bartolo, dottor Bartolo, dottor Bartolo!
Dr. Bartolo comes from the tradition of the Commedia dell'arte, like basically most of the characters in this opera. And he's the bad guy. I mean, he's the guy who has to be ridiculized, he has to be made fun of. And that's what I'm trying to do. Just that everybody laughs at me and with me, I hope. And basically, that what I want is Rosina's money. And that's what I'm trying to do during the whole opera, and obviously I don't get it because there is a tenor.
Vi consiglio, mia carina, un po' meglio in postura, meglio. Vi consiglio, mia carina, un po' meglio in postura, meglio.
A un dottore della mia sorte is a challenge. Is a challenge for fast words. Signorina, un'altra volta quando parto fuori. Signorina, un'altra volta quando parto fuori.
Listen here. Listen, please, listen. Signorina, un'altra volta quando parto fuori. Signorina, un'altra volta quando parto fuori. Lo consegno, servitorio, so buono, saprà. Thank you very much. Okay.
It's all tone. That is one of the typical Rossinian things that you can recognize in almost all the Rossini comic operas. He has a lot of coloratura, agilità, and syllabati. That means to put a lot of syllables together in a very, very, very short time. And of course, you have to be precise with the tempo. You have to be precise with the pitch, and otherwise, it's not fun. Otherwise, it's just chaos.
Don Basilio. He is a music teacher, which gives the singer a lot to mock around. But he is a priest, which gives the stage director plenty of ideas. And then he is just not from this world, always. His acting is always a little freaky, and I enjoy doing it from production to production, find a new way to be freaky. And it's wonderful. It's a lot of fun for a singer. And then he has this beautiful aria. Technically, it can be difficult, but it's fine. But the thing is, there is so much fun building it up. Because the aria is just starting from sussurrando, from whispering, and it goes then to the huge cannon shots. Oh, I love it. It's so much fun. If you can really spell the audience in this moment, then it's great. In Quintet, in the second act, there is a moment when they finally get rid of Don Basilio, and there is a silence, and then he comes back, which is, it's always hilarious, but I really, this is, well, you know, this is the moment of power and happiness on stage, you know. This is the moment I enjoy most normally.
So, stringi.
Stringi. Ah, bravissimo.
Right? The comedy of Barber. A lot of it's in the libretto. A lot of it stems from the situation and the words. The visualization of that is directing. But the comedy is innate in the interaction of the people. I mean, you know, you can, you know the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. If it wasn't funny, there's not much, whatever you did isn't going to make it funny. So yes, innately it's in the libretto. You got two times.
The second one is going to be fast.
Yeah, so you got two times. You don't have to travel very much cars. Just start with them.
Yeah,
right? Just go. Go again. So now you struggle in place. Go again.
We're not talking realistic playing. It's not Stanislavski. It is more a cartoonish way of acting.
The ties. Right after that.
Oh, I do that?
Do that first.
Sure. Okay, that's the name of this guy.
Yes.
All righty,
Then
cool.
right after that, do the ties, and then you got the apron.
Got it.
Okay, let's see if that's.
A lot of it is just there for the taking. You know, it's just, it's like going into a garden and being able to pick the most luscious fruit there is, and then looking over at the other hill and seeing that, you know, somebody's laid out another farmer's market for you to go and choose from. So, I mean, it's like they've got a bunch of stuff written in, and then they've brought and layered on top of all the natural stuff that's just in the score and the libretto, the John Copley and the Herb originality stuff that's really different and unique to this particular production. And it sort of expounds upon the hilarity.
I do believe in giving performers a certain amount of freedom within the context of what I want to do. There are certain moments that are prescribed. You've got to hit these spots, you've got to do these things, but then there are moments that have to come out of them. And that will adapt what I'm doing. Not everybody plays the character exactly the same way, and you wouldn't want them to. If you do a production like this, which I've done many, many times, part of the fun of it is finding new things with new people.
Well, if you've never seen an opera before and the Barber of Seville is your first opera, then you're in for a treat, because this is kind of like a greatest hits opera CD sort of thing, where every piece that you hear, you're like, I recognize that somewhere, and most of the time you'll recognize it from Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Do you recognize the characters from the Commedia tradition in this opera?
Absolutely, he was right, our Bartolo, to say that, and I recognize also all the style of Rossini that is very typical, and there are beautiful opera by Rossini, but I think in Ireland, if I have to take one, just destroyed all the others. It's just a game, anyway, it's not that we have to do it, but I think only one will be Barbiere, because it's really a masterpiece. And we have so much fun to do it, and there is great energy between us, and I think this energy is going to come to the public, and I think you appreciate.